2 days ago, I was sent to the local radiology unit for a CT scan, and I thought I would tell you what I experienced. Now, I have to say right from the beginning, I have no medical knowledge or training whatsoever. I'm purely reporting on the experience that I found myself. It doesn't necessarily reflect a procedure that you might have. Now, prior to the procedure, I was sent a prescription to get some tablets, and they were taken over the course of the preceding day and the day of the actual scan. And these are the tablets. The first tablet I had was a beta blocker, and it was designed to slow the heart rate, because if you think about it, a CT scan is basically a camera, and if your heart is beating 10 to the dozen, the image is going to be blurred. So the beta blocker just takes your heart rate down to 60, well, preferably about 60 beats per minute. The second tablet and the third is probably something that you won't get. And the reason I've got this particular 2 tablets is because the last time I had a scan, my chest became all blotchy and red because it seems I'm allergic to the high contrast dye that they squirt in. And this is supposed to give a degree of relief. There's no pain involved with it, but all over my chest was red, and so these 2 tablets were designed to stop that. But I have to report, it doesn't work. I've noticed this morning there's a definite blotchiness on my chest. But anyway, that's what the 2 tablets were for. I've had two scans. The first one that I had was some 3 years ago, because I went to hospital for a triple bypass, and I'm still alive to tell the tale, but that's another story. I had a CT scan there in the same way that I have here now, and I have to say at that time it was not a very nice experience. Let me tell you how it works. First of all, you have to have a cannula fitted, and in my case it was fitted here, and there's no marks to show. It was perfect, but it's quite a sizable needle, because unlike when they draw blood from you, the needle's relatively small and the whole operation is pretty well painless if the nurse knows what she's doing. But this is a noticeably bigger needle, and there's a little bit of discomfort when they put the needle in, but not significant. They then use a syringe full of saline fluid to basically just make sure that they have access and to your vein, basically. Again, painless. Now, when you go into the scanner, I didn't have to undress or anything like that, but they did put on those little test things, you know, where they connect it to the ECG monitor. Apart from that, you'll see from the picture here, that's not me, by the way, you have to adopt this posture because you have the cannula in your arm, and that goes off behind the machine. Now, it's quite a big machine, and for me, it wasn't claustrophobic at all, unlike some of the machines that are literally right over your head and can be very claustrophobic. But this one was not a problem for me. I went in feet first, so my head was just sort of level with the outer edge of the machine, similar to the picture there. And the the sledge that you're on moves backwards and forwards so that it's going, because obviously the machine can't move, so you move. You can see in the machine that something goes whirring round, and that's obviously, and this speeds up and slows down. And first of all, they take 2 or 3 low resolution pictures, which is without the dye, and obviously there's no feeling or anything there. You don't feel, there's no, unlike some of the machines, this machine doesn't make any appreciable noise. It's not like the banging that you get on some of the machines. So not an unpleasant experience and not claustrophobic. Now, the first scan that I had used a different kind of high contrast dye, and they said that you might, this is a good word, get a glow, warm feeling in your body when the dye goes in. Now, that is an understatement, because when the dye was put in on my first scan all those 3 years ago, it was an awful experience. It felt like a red hot poker was pushed inside your body, and the worst possible feeling. It was just awful, but luckily it only lasts about 15 to 20 seconds. But you won't be surprised to know that people tend to come out with a few expletives, in me included, when that goes in, because it just takes you completely by surprise. So when I was going for this CAT scan, I pointed out that I was very nervous of it because of a not good experience. And they said, well, as you're actually allergic to that particular high contrast dye, we're going to give you a different one and some tablets to stop the blotching effect. So this time I was there very apprehensive, and to my amazement, all I could feel was a very slight cold sensation where the liquid, which presumably was cold, radioactive liquid I might add, that's probably why your chest glows afterwards, goes in. And apart from that, which zero discomfort, there was just a note, I just noticed it was cold. And so really a not unpleasant experience. But certainly the first one I had in the Waikato hospital, I don't think there's any significance to it being there, it's just a different dye.